Please repeat. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 So today we're continuing our reading of Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, entitled The Cosmic Manifestation, chapter 8, entitled Questions by King Parikshit, and we are on text number 8. Please repeat. Asid yad udarat padmam.
Asid yad udarat padmam.
Asid yad udarat padmam.
Asid yad udarat padmam.
Loka samstana lakshanam.
Loka samstana lakshanam.
Loka samstana lakshanam.
Loka samstana lakshanam.
Yavan ayam vai purusha.
Yavan ayam vai purusha.
Yavan ayam vai purusha.
Yavan ayam vai purusha.
Iyatavaya vai pratak.
Iyatavaya vai pratak.
Iyatavaya vai pratak.
Iyatavaya vai pratak.
Tavanasa itti prokta.
Tavanasa iti prokta.
Tavanasa itti prokta.
Tavanasa iti prokta.
Samstavaya bhavaniva.
Samstavaya bhavaniva.
Samstavaya bhavaniva.
Samstavaya bhavaniva.
Asid yadudarat padmam.
Asid yad udarat padmam.
Loka samstana lakshanam.
Loka samstana lakshanam.
Yaman ayam vai purusha.
Yavan ayam vai purusha.
Iyatavaya vai pratak.
Iyatavaya vai pratak. Asya Dudarat Padmam
Asya Dudarat Padmam
Lokasamstana Lakshanam
Lokasamstana Lakshanam
Yavanadyam Vai Purusha
Yavanayam Vai Purusha
Iyatava Yavai Pritat
Iyatava Yavai Pritat
Tavana Saviti Prokta
Tavana Saviti Prokta
Samstavaya Bhavaniva
Samstavaya Bhavaniva.
Anybody else?
Asya Dudarat Padmam
Asya Dudarat Padmam
Lokasamstana Lakshanam
Lokasamstana Lakshanam
Yavanayam Vai Purusha
Yavanayam Vai Purusha
Iyatava Yavai Pritat
Iyatava Yavai Pritat
Tavana Saviti Prokta
Tavana Saviti Prokta
Samstavaya Bhavaniva
Samstavaya Bhavaniva
Asya Dudarat Padmam
Asya Dudarat Padmam
Lokasamstana Lakshanam
Lokasamstana Lakshanam
Yavanayam Vai Purusha
Yavanayam Vai Purusha
Iyatava Yavai Pritat
Iyatava Yavai Pritat
Tavana Saviti Prokta
Tavana Saviti Prokta
Samstavaya Bhavaniva
Samstavaya Bhavaniva.
Word for word synonyms, please repeat. Asit,
Asit,
as it grew.
if it grew,
Yat udanat,
Yanudarat,
from whose abdomen.
from whose abdomen,
Padmam,
Padma,
lotus flower.
lotus flower,
Loka,
Loka,
world.
world,
Samstana,
Samstana,
situation.
situation,
Lakshanam,
Lakshanam,
possessed of.
possessed of,
Yavan,
Yavan,
as it were.
if it were,
Ayam,
Ayam,
this.
this,
By,
by,
certainly.
certainly,
Purusha,
Shah,
the supreme personality of
the
Godhead.
supreme personality of God,
Iyata,
Yita,
measurement.
measurement,
Avayavai,
Avayavai,
by embodiments.
by embodiment,
Pritak,
Pritak,
different.
different,
Tavan,
Tavan,
so.
so,
Aso,
Aso,
that.
that,
Iti prokta,
Iprokta,
it is so said.
it is so said,
Samsta,
Samsta,
situation.
situation,
Avayavavan,
Avayavavan,
embodiment.
embodiment,
Iva,
Iva,
like.
like.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. If the Supreme Personality of Godhead, from whose abdomen the lotus stem sprouted, is possessed of a gigantic body, according to his own caliber and measurement, then what is the specific difference between the body of the Lord and those of common living entities? Purport. One should note how Maharaj Parikshit intelligently puts questions before his spiritual master for scientific understanding of the transcendental body of the Lord. It has been described in many places before this that the Lord assumed a gigantic body like that of Karanodakashayi Vishnu, from whose air pores innumerable universes have generated. The body of Garbhodakashayi Vishnu is described as sprouting the lotus stem, within which all the planets of the universe remain, and at the top of the stem is the lotus flower on which Lord Brahma is born. In the creation of the material world, the Supreme Lord undoubtedly assumes a gigantic body, and living entities also get bodies, big or small. according to necessity. For example, an elephant gets a gigantic body according to its needs, and so also an ant gets its body according to its needs. Similarly, if the personality of Godhead assumes a gigantic body to accommodate the universes or the planets of a particular universe, there is no difference in the principle of assuming or accepting a particular type of body in terms of necessity. A living being and the Lord cannot be distinguished simply by the difference in the magnitude of the body. So the answer depends on the specific significance of the body of the Lord, as distinguished from the body of the common living being. End of Srila Prabhupada's prayer. So we're currently reading chapter 8 here, entitled Questions by King Parikshit. Why is King Parikshit asking so many questions? Maybe we can discuss that point first. For those of you who were here last Wednesday and might remember, there's actually two reasons we want to point out why King Parikshit is asking so many questions at this point. So anybody that was here last Wednesday, can you recall?
I'm just thinking that maybe he was thinking of the welfare of humanity for the future generations.
Okay, very good. That is one of the two reasons. That
Limited time.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, limited time.
He had limited time. And so one of the two reasons, as Kaivalya has pointed out, is that he was concerned about the welfare of others, and he's asking such questions. What was the second reason we discussed last Wednesday that Prabhupada had revealed in one of his purports earlier in this chapter, why King Parikshit was asking questions? Yes, he had limited time, but what was it that he needed to accomplish by this asking of questions?
Get free from the hunger and thirst, the factor.
Yeah, he had renounced everything, the kingdom, the wealth, the military, the beautiful family, but he was still conscious of his body. He was still conscious of the disturbances caused by hunger and thirst. So he understood, I have to keep on hearing Srimad Bhagavatam to overcome this awareness of the body. But this second point, that he actually is asking his questions for the benefit of others. We find this with Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita. Prabhupada's always stressing. Arjuna's not an ordinary conditioned soul like you and me, who's just bewildered and ignorant and, needs to ask questions. He is, under Krishna's Yoga Maya, in the role of an ignorant human being who needs to ask questions. But he's actually asking them for the welfare of others. So by Arjuna asking questions, we get to hear Bhagavad Gita. By all these great personalities in Srimad Bhagavatam asking questions, we get to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. There would be no Srimad Bhagavatam if nobody asked questions, because the answer is only given when you ask a question. You're not going to give me an answer to a question I haven't asked. So at the very beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, we learn that the sages of Naimisharanya, they have gathered for a purpose. We all come together in groups for different purposes. So hundreds and thousands of sages from all over the universe gathered at the holy spot of Naimisharanya for a particular purpose. And what was their purpose? They were trying to figure out what is the best form of sacrifice that we can engage in, which will bring auspiciousness to the people of Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga is just about to begin. The sages are assembling at Naimisharanya right at the cusp. Dwapara Yuga has now been ushered out by the disappearance of Lord Krishna to his own abode. And Kali Yuga is just now coming. taking change of guards, as we can say. So the sages of Naimisharanya are a little bit shocked with the winter season coming here, the Kali Yuga season coming, and they recognize that men in this age are short-lived. They're so short-lived that no matter what they try to do to perfect their life, death comes. Boom, you're gone. Before you even get a chance to get past the start line, the finish line's already there. Not only are their lives very short, but men are always quarrelsome. They can't agree on anything, therefore they can't work as a team. Why can't you and I work as a team?
I don't like you.
It's not about not liking you, it's about I can agree with you. Right? I think we should, put the benches facing vertically. No, I think we should put the benches facing horizontally. And we can't get anything done because we don't agree with each other. We quarrel about everything. So people are short-lived, they're quarrelsome, they're unlucky. So even if they do sincerely pursue something, they get cheated. The guru with the long beard and the orange robes and the glassy eyes come and sell you a mantra, and you just get cheated. And they're always disturbed. Over the triflest things, the mind is so disturbed. If you don't want to experience unemployment, no matter what job you have, I think everybody can recognize that you can get laid off or fired at any moment, or just the world doesn't need your services anymore. If you don't want to be unemployed, become a psychologist. Because everybody is so disturbed, increasingly so, that that's like the only secure occupation these days.
Or corn.
Or grow corn. Grow corn, yes, grow food. So, the Srimad Bhagavatam begins with the sages of Naimisharanya wanting to do something for the benefit of Kali Yuga people. And they're getting crossing signals, different advice from different people on what's the best thing to do. So at one point, Sutta Goswami happens to be walking by. How fortuitous is that? He just finished sitting at the bank of the Ganges and hearing Shukadev and Parikshit having their awesome conversation. Now that's finished. So Sutta Goswami is taking a walk through the forest, and he happens upon this assembly of sages, and they recognize him because he's so effulgent. And they say, hey, come over here, please sit down. They offer him a seat of esteem. We accept you as the captain of our ship. We're trying to cross the ocean of nescience, but it's not happening. But we accept you as the captain of our ship. Could you please inform us what is the best sacrifice that we can perform to benefit the men of Kali Yuga? And they ask so many, many, many questions. And Sutta Goswami, after patiently listening to all their questions, then he says, Munaya sadhu prishtoham bhavadbir lokamangalam Yatkrita Krishna Samprashno Yenatma Suprasidati. He says, my dear Munis, what you've just done is indeed the best sacrifice. What have you done? You have just asked me relevant questions. Bhavadbir Loka Mangalam. These questions directly bring auspiciousness to the people of the world. Why? Krishna Samprashno. They are directly related to Krishna. And only questions of this sort, Yenatma Suprasidati, actually bring satisfaction to the self. So congratulations, your questions are glorious because they deal with Lord Krishna and anything related with Lord Krishna. This is the sacrifice for this age, to exchange questions and answers concerning Krishna. That is Srimad Bhagavatam. So here in this chapter, Parikshit is inquiring, and he yesterday made a very intelligent question, which you're not even practically considered a human being if you don't ask this question. Yesterday he asked to Shukadeva Goswami, that if the spirit soul is actually different than the body, which you've been telling me, that hey, you're not the body, you're the spirit soul, which is transcendental to all matter. So if that's true, that the soul is different than the body, then how and why does the soul even acquire a body in the first place? If this is not me, it's an extra baggage which is like acting like an anchor to make me drown in the ocean of nescience, then how does the spirit soul even acquire a body a material body in the first place? Is it just by accident, by chance, some random roll of the dice? Or is there some cause? Could you please explain this to me? The body is very bewildering, actually, because we identify with the body and it just so much feels like us. And in this verse, today's verse, he says, well, how is the Lord's body different than a living being's body then? You keep saying that we're not the body, we don't really need this material body, it's our bondage to this material world. But at the same time, you're telling me that the Lord himself has a gigantic body. It's so gigantic, Karamadakashayi Vishnu or Mahavishnu, his body is so gigantic that the universes come out of his skin pores like little particles of little seeds. And Garbhodakashayi Vishnu within each universe, individual universe, he also has a gigantic body. So much so that the whole universal form is contained within him. All the planets, everything. So you're telling me that the body is different than the self and the body is like our bondage, but the Lord has a body. So how is his body different than our body? And Prabhupada made the good point in the purport, it's not just by size. Oh, well, his body's really huge and yours is really small. That's not the difference. After all, there's the little microbe and then there's the elephant. So what's the difference then? So we find ourselves in good company when we have this question of, I wonder how come, like when the Lord has a body, that's all right. We don't criticize that, that's glorious. But when we have a body, material body, we kind of criticize that. So we're actually in good company when we ask that question, because guess who also had that bewilderment, if you will, or that doubt? The leader of our sampradaya, the leader of the universe, Lord Brahma. We were just reading yesterday evening Krishna book with Bhakti Nan. And we finished the pastime of Lord Brahma foolishly stealing Krishna's boyfriends and calves when they were picnicking in the forest. And then he got all embarrassed and ashamed when he realized that I can't pull a fast one over Krishna. My mystic potencies are like the light that's found in a firefly compared to Krishna's mystic potency, which is like the light which emanates from the sun. You can't compare them. So he was embarrassed that he tried to pull a fast one on Krishna. And then he falls on the floor at Dandavats, and he begins to offer humble prayers. And one of the first points that he makes in his prayers is that I cannot estimate the spiritual potency of your childlike body. This is why Lord Brahma was bewildered, because he saw this cute little adorable soft cowherd boy named Krishna, 5-6 years old. He's got little flowers in his hair, a little peacock feather. He's carrying a flute and a bugle made of buffalo horn. And he's got some food that his mom sent him on a picnic with, some fruit and yogurt sitting in his left hand. And he's surrounded by other cute little boys. And what? That's not God. God is Vishnu with 4 arms and very majestic and a gold helmet and powerful and awesome. Who's this little boy Krishna? So now he offers in his prayers this submission that I cannot, even if I engage in millions of years of speculation, I cannot estimate the spiritual potency of your childlike body. What to speak of others? I can't do it. So what to speak of these fools and rascals who do spend lifetime after lifetime after lifetime in speculative acquisition of knowledge? I can't estimate what to speak of them. And then he says, if I can't estimate the spiritual potency of your childlike body, then what hope is there of me understanding your Leela, your pastimes? Because we generally understand that when one approaches the Lord and begins to understand the Lord, it goes Nama, name. First we have to understand the name. Then Rupa, or form. Then Guna, or qualities. And then Leela, or activities. I can't even understand your form. What to speak of your Leela? So then how is the Lord's body different than ours? Not just because it's humongous compared to our infinitesimal body. What's the big difference between his body and ours? Well, there's many differences. His body's eternal, our material body's not eternal. Of course, someday when we have a spiritual body, we'll also have an eternal body. But Lord Brahma also reveals in his Brahma Samhita a magnificent quality of Krishna's body, a quality that we don't have in our body. What is that magnificent quality of Krishna's body that Lord Brahma glorifies in his Brahma Samhita prayers? I'll give you a hint. We sing it at 7 o'clock in the morning. Angani yasya sakala indriya vritti manti. Sakala indriya vritti manti. That each and every part of Krishna's body, his different limbs, his different senses, they can perform the function of all the other parts and senses and limbs. Therefore, Krishna can eat with his eyes. Can you eat with your eyes? That's a take-home homework assignment. See if you can enjoy a meal with your eye, actually eat with your eyes. He can smell with his hands. He can see with his ears. Whatever. Every part of Krishna's body can do the function of all other parts. Therefore, when we put the offering of food on the altar, the non-devotee will say, "What? You took it off the altar and it's still there. Nothing's missing." And Prabhupada would say, it's because he eats with his eyes.
Hare Krishna. So this comment. So I believe that something to do with the spiritual nature of the Krishna's body.
Mm-hmm.
So even the souls, when they get a spiritual body, perhaps may be able to do that. So just a comment.
Yeah,
But the difference.
I haven't heard any indication or pastimes in which the different parts of a jiva's spiritual body can perform the functions of all the other parts of their spiritual body. This is a point that's made by Lord Brahma specifically to the Lord's body. So unless we can come up with some pramana, but of all the leelas I've read and all the, technical stuff I've read, I've never seen where a jiva who has a spiritual body can perform with one part of their body the function of another part of the body.
Yeah.
This is a, amazing quality of the Lord's body. And of course, from our material body, there's no question, it's not even in the same ballpark,
The other point I was trying to mention is Krishna is all-knowing. It says this in Bhagavad Gita that Kshetra Gemam Vidhi Sarva Kshetra Shubhata. So he knows everything, just being in his own body. But even if you get a spiritual body, you will not know everything.
Exactly.
It's a big difference.
Exactly. Why? Because we're always infinitesimal. And he's always infinite. So the spark of fire, although it has the qualities of the big fire, it's never the same. And that's why Rupa Goswami in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu points out that the jivas can have at utmost, like when you're like Lord Brahma, not when you're a paltry human being, but when you become Lord Brahma, a jiva who becomes a Lord Brahma, you can have utmost 78% of Krishna's qualities. Then if you go to Lord Shiva, he has 84% of Krishna's qualities. Then you go to Vishnu or Narayan, he has 95% of Krishna's qualities. Because Krishna has unlimited qualities. And then there's 4 qualities that Krishna has that nobody has, not even Vishnu. His Madhurya Rupa, his Madhurya Leela, his Madhurya Venu, and his...
Peacock feather.
Huh?
Peacock feather.
No. That's part of his Madhurya Rupa, Madhurya Leela, Madhurya Venu, and Madhurya...
Associates?
Associates.
Loving associates.
Yeah, that's part of the Leela. He has loving, always surrounded by loving associates. His flute playing, his Rupa. Oh my gosh, I forgot the 4th one. Anyway, he has 4 qualities which nobody else has. And that separates him, of course, from all others. So, I forget the 4th one right now. We just mentioned it the other day, and now I lost it.
Can I make a little comment about the eating with the eyes? Since there was COVID. People may not see that he's eating, but the jars see that he's gaining or losing weight.
Yes.
Sometimes an outfit will fit the outfit fits perfectly. Just recently my wife was changing these outfits. For some reason, Lord Mitchanandis just wouldn't go. She was such a tiny fit that it seems like Lord Mitchanandis may even more than his. This happens.
Yes.
And or sometimes they don't fit well. It all depends on who's cooking them.
Yes, there's many stories like of Raghunandana Thakur who had direct realization that the Lord was eating the food offerings that were put in front of him on the altar.
Another
So,
point is actually eat by hearing the prayers of the devotee, offering it to them. He's eating by hearing those prayers.
and many times devotees would, express a doubt that, I don't see God, People say like that all the time. I don't see God, so how can I believe him? And then Prabhupada would always stress, you have to hear. You see God by hearing. So Krishna, not only do all of his senses perform the functions of all other senses, and that's why he's called omnipotent, but he can make himself available in full through any sensual perception. And particularly in sound, the sound incarnation of Srimad Bhagavatam is Krishna in full. It's not a representation of Krishna or an indication of Krishna. It's Krishna in full, Srimad Bhagavatam. So, anyway, so this is Parikshit Maharaj asking questions for Lokamangalam, auspiciousness to the whole world. And what is that auspiciousness? What does that mean? Oh, we're going to ask questions and receive answers about Krishna, and that's going to bring auspiciousness to the world. Why? What's going to happen? The earth's going to produce more fruits and vegetables, and the hills are going to produce minerals and jewels. Or what's the auspiciousness that is brought about by this hearing questions and answers about Krishna? What's the great
Conditioned living entities become free from their illusion, their nescience, and they become Krishna. They take to the path of devotional service and get out of the cycle of birth and death.
Yes. At the very beginning of chapter 8 in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna's asking, Arjuna is asking different questions throughout the Gita, and at the beginning of chapter 8, he asks the most important question, which is, how can one know you at the time of death? Why do we want to know Krishna at the time of death? Krishna says so in Bhagavad Gita 4.9. Janma karma cha medevyan evam yogiti tattva tatvariham punarjanma naiti manditi sorjuna. If you know me in truth, properly, one who knows me in truth, knows my activities, the nature of my birth, etc., you don't take birth again in this material world. You're completely liberated. So by asking these questions and hearing the answers that are given in Srimad Bhagavatam, we get to know Krishna in truth. Okay, we'll stop there, see if there's any other discussion.
Well, I just read I don't know, I read, there's a book about Haridas Thakur. I can't remember, Varsama Swami, I think, wrote a forward to it, and I can't remember who actually wrote the whole, or compiled all these quotes, but Rupa Vilas, right. So, in there they said that pastime, what Brahman with cows, and the cover boys, is what inspired him then to want to be a part of what Chaitanya's Leela.
Nice.
And he went back to Brahmaloka and made some arrangements. It was 4,500 years later, so it was a few minutes for him. He made some arrangements so that he could come and take birth and be a part of it. He wanted to experience with these.
And tell Bhakti what part of play in Lord Chaitanya's Leela.
Haridas Thakur, first of all, he was born in a Mohammedan family, which was completely disqualifies him for medical things, or he's untouchable. He's a family. They eat flesh, and but he develops by he gets the association of the Vaishnavas in Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he is called the Namacharya, which means that he took a vow to chant, what was it, 170 rounds or 300,000? 300,000 a day. And so, he strictly followed that. And there's so many pastimes with him. When, I think somebody just mentioned in the class the other day that one of the Qazis, or the governors, became envious of this sadhu, that people were, talking about him, and it was very, and the Qazi, of course, was a Mohammedan, and here's a Mohammedan, someone born a Muslim, and now he's taking to the Vaishnava, or the Hindu ways. I don't know if they call themselves Hindus, but, and so he sends a harlot to try to entice him, and he just asks her, "Oh yes, I'll take care of everything else. I'll be very happy to fulfill your desires. Just you could just sit there. I've taken a vow to finish chanting these rounds. So if you could just sit there and wait, and when I finish, then I'll fulfill your desires." And this goes on for, I think, 3 days, 3 nights. And by the end, she's completely just by hearing him chanting, she just breaks down. She says, I'm so sorry, I was sent by this because and he wanted me to seduce you, to break your vows, but now I want to surrender to you. And he sets her up, and she becomes a great Vaishnava. So Haridas Thakur set the example of setting a vow and keeping it, and specifically in chanting the holy name. I mean, no one can imitate that, what he did. If we can do our 16 rounds. Because the point is that in this age, in the age of Kali Yuga, Harinam, 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 meditate below and stable, chant the holy names, chant the holy names, chant the holy names. So he's showing us, if you want to enter into that intimate pastime, that he had just found out, he's Lord Brahma, now he's just found out, there's another whole dimension, spiritual dimension to this personality of Godhead that I've been worshipping. He has this whole other dimension with his friends and cows and cowherd boys, and they're running and imitating the monkeys and stealing butter and all, and he's the same from which everything is coming. Everything is creating all these universes, but yet he has this beautiful pastime with these other boys, and he wants to get in there. So, and the way to do it is by chanting the holy name. Kali Yuga is the secret. So he takes it very seriously. This is Lord Brahma. Is that right?
Yes, thank you.
Sorry. I didn't know where to go.
That's good.
Did you say Haridas Thakur was Lord Brahma?
Yeah, Lord Brahma takes part in Lord Brahma, 4,500 years later, after Krishna's Leela, takes birth, expands himself and takes birth in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela as Haridas Thakur.
Is this when he asked to take birth in the Krishna book?
Well, he was asking in the Krishna book that in my next life, I don't care, whatever I am, even a blade of grass sitting outside Vrindavan so the Brajavasis walk on me, Okay, anything else?
Can you find out about that quality?
Yeah,
Not right now,
yeah,
but later.
I will in 1 minute. If you don't run away, I'll find it for you. And I'll say, oh yeah. Okay, anything else? Okay, we'll stop there. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Oh, Prema Madhurya.
Okay.
Prema. Venu, Leela, Rupa, and Prema.
Thank you.
And Prema?
Prema means love, but you don't find this kind of sweet love in Vaikuntha. You only find it with Krishna. No other form of God. Very sweet, sweet, sweet form of love.
They don't know, but forget. You gotta listen to that. You going down to that?
Thank you very much.